Another such example that comes to mind from what you've kind of driven, where again that political will becomes important, a lot of change management, is Antyodaya Saral. I know that so traditionally the challenge in availing government schemes, we go to the rural areas, the challenge at the time was that firstly the awareness of these schemes is very low. Even if I'm aware that this is a scheme, I don't know whether I'm eligible for it or not. If I found out my eligibility, I don't know where to go and apply for the scheme, because some scheme is available at my panchayat, something at a block office, something in a block office, something in a tehsil, something at a district level. Even if I land up at the right place, then the process of application is complex, and I typically end up depending on a tout or an agent to kind of file my application. Once I file, then it's a black box to me. I'm waiting ki wo kab aayega uska result. And I know the CM wanted that this situation should change on the ground, and the experience of the citizen in dealing with the government should be a seamless experience. And from there, the whole concept of Antyodaya Saral as a piece over the next few years was born, to overhaul the delivery of all the 500 plus scheme services across all departments and ministries. So a little bit on that how did the state go about doing that work? Because it's a massive change across all departments, all districts. So usko kaise kiya?
So during the first year of CMGJ program, we worked on improving the service delivery in SDM offices, which in Haryana are responsible for vehicle registration and for issuing driving licenses. So that really made us understand the ground realities. At the same time, we had launched, we started this digital Haryana cell in Chief Minister's office with support from private sector under their CSR obligation. And then Samagra, you were also roped in to create a mechanism in which we are able to do public service delivery seamlessly without the regular ills of being the corruption or lack of transparency or lack of user satisfaction. So all those things were the key criterias when we designed Antyodaya Saral. Another important input here was the vision of Honorable Chief Minister. So he had been head of Antyodaya Cell in his political party before he became Chief Minister. So he had his concept about using ICT, using the technology to lead governance and provide the due benefits to the citizens. So we came together and then we brought 550 plus G2C services and schemes on one online platform. So that we named it as Antyodaya Saral. And here the beauty was we didn't invite private vendors to actually do it. We asked the state NIC and the NIC office in Delhi to do it. So they had one interesting work which they had done for Panchayat Sood that was called as Service Plus. So we used something which was available in the government domain, and that too without cost. So we only had developers which really supported the NIC teams. And then we did the basic mapping of all the 37 different departments just to understand where do they stand. So we had categorized the various departments and the various schemes and services as L0, L1, L2, L3. There was no particular scheme or a department which was L3. So there was no particular scheme or service which was 100% online. So, and then of course there were many departments, many scheme services which were at L0, L1 or L2 level. So what we did was we identified some, say around 10 departments, and then we transformed all these departments into very much IT savvy kind of departments. And then all these services were completely onboarded to Antyodaya Saral system.
And I think the beauty there was also to not do it centrally, but get those departments to onboard themselves on this.
Yes, so that was the beauty. So there was no vendor. So we were doing it ourselves with the increase of our own capacity, whether it is NIC or whether the technical people of 37 different departments. And there were few departments which were having no IT capacity. So the central team in Chief Minister's office or the NIC or the digital Haryana cell, we really supported those departments. We didn't have any capacity. And then I would say there was a team of around 150 people belonging to NIC and different departments of Haryana. We all started working together. And then the effort was not to create a perfect design and then start rolling. The effort was to have some quick wins, kuch karke dikha dein, demonstrate kar dein, So we had staggered inaugurations by central IT minister or the chief minister of Haryana at different points of time. And idea was कि जो हैं करते चलें, फिर उसके बाद डैशबोर्ड बनाया, इनका स्कोर कार्ड बनाया, composite scores बनाए, just to judge how districts are doing or how different departments are doing. So once again, we see that the feeling of competitive spirit was inculcated into the system, and complete buy-in was there because we did it ourselves, our government department people, we ourselves did it. So इसके अंदर ना तो कोई lag time था, और money wise भी I would say we spent only say around 1% of the cost which would have been charged by the vendor, with very less of acceptability. And time wise also we were able to deliver in few months. The whole project was delivered in 2 to 3 years. So, and then of course it became such a huge success story with almost 95 lakh people in the state coming to this portal or through the physical outlets which were also created, the districts.
Yeah, that was the second part of it, which is streamlining the things on the ground. One is the technology
Physical
part of it, but second was the physical touch point. उसका भी थोड़ा सा बताइए.
तो फिजिकल टच पॉइंट्स जितने भी हमारे डिस्ट्रिक्ट में सब डिवीज़न और तहसील लेवल पे जो हमारे केंद्रास थे, सो दे वर रीलेबल्ड एज अंत्योदय सरल केंद्रास और सरल केंद्रास. And similarly, at the village level, we have village level entrepreneurs who run the citizen service centers or the Atal Seva Kendra. वहाँ पे भी same system, same online system was given. With little fee, the citizens could have come to these different centers, kendras, and then get the services.
So they don't have to go to the government departments and apply for it. They can go to their village kiosk, or they can come to the Saral Kendra and from one place only apply for any scheme service of any department.
We went one step ahead. We not only asked them to go to these centers, in fact, we prohibited them going to the departments.
Yes.
So this we did by government order. So this was something very, very revolutionary. In the earlier scenario, people were actually going to the department and meeting with the concerned clerks or the accountants. But in the new system,
and
they have to go.
That's where petty corruption happens. That's where some of those
Corruption होता है और process वो होती है, or in fact, it's a big headache for the officials also. Even if that person is honest, the trouble of facing the citizens unnecessarily throughout the day, and citizens chasing them, and some of them demanding them to do it out of turn. But here is a system which is very, very transparent, and जिसको आप log on भी कर सकते हो, जैसे हमारे जो vendors होते हैं, online vendors, Amazon और दूसरे लोग, उसी तरह से citizens can actually track their service delivery also, कब apply किया, where it has moved, and finally, as soon as the approval is granted, the citizen will also get notified. So the scope of, the role of touts or people, middlemen, that drastically has reduced. And of course, when you go to these centers or kendras, so here it's like air-conditioned places with proper sitting provision, और पानी भी वहाँ पे है, वहाँ पे एक information desk भी है. इसके अलावा एक हेल्पलाइन भी क्रिएट हुई, आपको कोई इन्फॉर्मेशन चाहिए या ट्रैक करना
है. Like visa center, the experience of that is when you go and apply for a visa, it's very similar to that.
Exactly, like visa facilitation center.
And you have an information center, then you go to a. Yeah.
तो सूचना उनको मिल जाती थी, and then of course if there is a delay in delivery of these services, then we used to create tickets, and then it became the responsibility of the departments concerned to address those grievances. And we used to really track that very well. And then composite score में account for करते थे. Performance of department, performance of these kendras, and similarly performance of departments when tickets are actually created. With the result that the various government departments, the various functionaries, they became accountable to the political leadership, the top bureaucracy, or to the people at large. So this really, in fact, one more thing we started doing was to have department-wise scores and the district-wise score. And these were put in public domain through our websites. So the beauty is that we can actually see the performance of different departments. In fact, here is a way in which the seemingly uncomparable departments, say agriculture and say transport department, now we can compare them
on the Saral score
through the Saral scores. So that is something.
So basically, one part of it is which is around getting all the different 36 departments, all the schemes and services on one platform. That was one thing done without a vendor, done in a participative approach. The second part is the streamlining of the touch points of the citizen on the ground through the village level entrepreneurs or the common services centers and these designated Saral Kendras. So no longer anyone has to go to a department. In fact, that's discouraged, like you're saying. And the third part is a lot of visibility and accountability, because so much of data is there. All of this is system generated data. It's not fed data. It's actually system generated data, so it's reliable data basis which accountability through Saral scores of departments, of districts, and putting it out in the public domain so that there's more transparency and so on. It's been a massive change, like almost changing the way the government is functioning across the board. And it got a lot of recognition also later. Haryana became number 1 in the Citizen Centric Governance Index that came from the Government of India. So it was number 1, and I think the second state there was Gujarat. It also got the President's Award. I think you went and received
we got Digital India Awards, we got Indian Express Leadership Award, multiple national level awards, we got recognition. The ranking also, we were undisputed number 1 in terms of service delivery through web means. So all these things were definitely done. But here, once again, I would like to highlight the same thing, the competitive spirit.
Yes.
So rather than punishing those who are not working, if we just start appreciating the people or the departments who are delivering, that has a very good effect on the people who are not delivering that well. And then, of course, it's a dynamic situation. Your performance may be good today, but tomorrow it may go down if you're not working well. So this way we were able to keep, departments or people on their toes. And several departments used to really, and districts also, they used to take pride in saying, कि हमारा लगातार rank top 3 में रहता है, that kind of situation. Yeah. So this is something which is needed in governance. So here the important thing is to create information systems so that you have robust data. And ये तो सब online processes से आ रहा है, कोई effort करने की ज़रूरत ही नहीं है, एक बार आपने systems बना दिया.
This is emitted data, what we call emitted data. Nobody is kind of digitizing feeding.
Absolutely.
People are doing their work and data is getting emitted.
Processes are there. The back-end process was completely computerized. So if I remember it correctly, more than 20,000 or 25,000 people in government sector working on this Saral platform to deliver services to people of Haryana. So this was the vision of Saral, of Honorable Chief Minister, to actually empower the citizens or the beneficiaries of different government schemes, which we did. And here also the CMGGs, the Chief Minister Good Governance Associates working at district level, they really helped us by being our extended arm and supporting the district and sub-district officers to get it delivered.